Hello, I'm Hannah. I'm trying to upload a video right now, so if you hear the noise of my computer struggling, that's why. Today, I wanted to try out a couple new products that I have sitting around. 5 products to be exact, that I haven't tried yet. And I'm hoping that throughout this process, moments where I have a pile of makeup that I haven't tried are going to be few and far between, so I thought I would take advantage of this moment. So I have the Moon Prism blush palette from Lunar Beauty, the Taupes eyeshadow palette from Juvia's Place, Milk Makeup Iced Highlighter, Tower 28 lip gloss in Cashew, and the e.l.f. Lash It Loud mascara. I was drawn to the Taupes palette when it first came out, and it's one of those things that, like, there is no reason for me to have this. I love colorful makeup. I do love Juvia's Place shadow, so maybe that's part of the reason, but I'm nervous because the 3 metallics and the 3 mattes all seem to be in similar tones to each other, so I'm not sure how much depth I can get from this palette, but we'll see. The reason I ended up getting this was because it was in the Trend Mood box in December, and that's when I was on an evil rampage of trying to buy as much as I could. So when I saw it was including, it wasn't even just including this, it was including this or the pink one, so I ended up getting lucky of getting the one that I had been wanting. But even getting it, I'm like, I'm not sure I need this. But I'm going to start off just doing a couple swatches of this, because it was a bad day for long sleeves. So far, I'm not that impressed. I don't know, we're going to try them on the eyes, but I just feel like they don't seem as incredible as the Juvia's Place metallics that I've tried previously. And actually, just to compare, I want to see if I have a similar metallic in any of my other palettes. I'd say the closest that we have in the Magic palette is this one right here. And it feels like what I think of Juvia's Place metallics feeling like. I mean, the color is bolder, but I can just tell from the feel of it that the one from the Magic palette is like, it has more to it. When I'm looking for a metallic, I'm not looking for something like thin and slippery necessarily. I kind of like when they have some like grit to it, when some product comes up when you swatch it. I also have the Afrique palette, and I'm going to swatch this one in the corner. This is actually what made me want it, because I thought it seemed like the perfect neutral metallic. Incredible. I think we could all see the 3 taupes in the middle are a little lackluster compared to those bookends. So I'll check out the mattes now. Juvia's Place mattes have never been my favorite. I've always thought they were okay, but they never blew me away. But these feel pretty nice. They seem alright. You definitely tell that this is a cooler tone shadow. These are pretty similar in tone. I'm going to try to build it up a little bit and see what happens. I was wondering if it was just a weak swatch at first, but I think that second one, the one in the middle, is a lighter shade than this one. So we have 2 kind of mid-toned warm shadows, that one slightly lighter, and then one mid-toned cool brown. So I'm going to pop on my Anastasia eye primer. I'm going to try to make a look that I'll like out of this, but I'm already kind of prepared to be disappointed. So I'm going to start with this one that seemed like the lightest matte, and I'm going to try to take that high in my crease. Then I'm going to take the more cool tone matte and try to concentrate that more in my crease. I was envisioning this bringing depth to the look, but I don't know how much depth it can bring. There's some. Yeah, I found these mattes okay. I haven't been too into cutting my crease lately, but I want to try to give these metallics the best shot possible. So I'm going to take my ColourPop white concealer and a flat brush. When I use the brush to pack on shimmer, as opposed to my finger, I like to use this Real Techniques one. It's the shading brush. The first one I know I'm going to save for my inner corner. I think I'm going to start with this one that's like the last one in the palette. That looks really unimpressive. I'm going to try to use this other metallic that I kind of have the most hope for with the brush on the outer edge of this. And then after that, I'm going to try to pack them both on with my finger a little bit. I mean, it's something, but it's just really nothing to write home about. So that's kind of the best I can do with this look right now. We're going to come back to this palette for the lower lash line, but I'm just going to throw on my base products first. I wasn't sure if I was going to get to every color in the palette, but I realize now that I will, so that's kind of cool. So I'm going to take that first metallic as my inner corner shade. Not really doing too much. As I'm wiping my brush in it, these metallic shades are already looking like they're hard panned. It's not what I want to see in my shadow the first time I use it. I'm going to take this kind of more peanut buttery matte shade on my lower lash line. I do like this color. I like how it's going on. I feel like so far this is my favorite part of the palette. I'm going to drag that inner corner shade a little bit more down to meet that. And I'm going to take the cool matte on the outer edge of my lower lash line. Wow, that shade's so much darker when it's concentrated. Alright, knowing that, I think I'm actually going to trace the line on the top. Alright, it's still not great, but it's a little bit more like what I was going for. I'm just blending the edges with a clean brush. I look absolutely dead right now, so hopefully our next order of business can liven that up. This is the Lunar Beauty Moon Prism Blush Palette. It's so gorgeous. The packaging's so gorgeous. I love the colors. I love the shades. I think I'm going to start with this one here. This is Stargaze. Has some pigment to it. Yeah, it's actually quite pigmented. Then I think I'm going to top that with Soleil. I'm not sure how to say that word. This looks like the only one in here that has some shimmer to it. Oh my god. Okay, that one was way more pigmented than I thought. I'm going to try to put some powder on my cheeks and dull this down a little bit. Okay, so I think this is okay for now, but I definitely think there's some kind of learning curve to this palette because they are way more pigmented than I expected. I did go in with my more packing blush brush. This is a Sonia G brush, I believe. It has no label on it whatsoever, but I believe this is like the Sonia G line from Target. Or no, the Sonia Cashew from Target. When I know a blush is more pigmented, I go in with my Real Techniques blush brush, which is like way bigger and fluffier because this disperses the pigments more. So in hindsight, I probably should have gone in with this one, but I just wasn't expecting it to be as bold as it is. Next on the chopping block is the Milk Flex highlighter in the shade Iced. It looks really, really gorgeous. I know people have talked about the shade Lit, and I did originally want to get that, but then it's sold out in Sephora, and I went on the Milk website and they were half off, so they were $14, but they were sold out of Lit also. So I was considering purchasing this. I put it in my cart, I hit checkout to see how much the shipping would be. The shipping was like $8, and then I went to X out of it, but I accidentally like thumb printed the purchase, and then after that I was like, whatever, I'll just get it. So hopefully it's good. I really like the packaging. It's like really nice and sleek. It feels substantial enough. I like the magnet in it, but the important thing is the product, so. It looks nice. Okay, that looks nice so far. My preference nowadays with highlighters is I want them to be somewhat similar to my skin tone. I'm not looking for like a super stark white highlight anymore. And I want them to have enough reflectance that you can tell I'm definitely wearing highlighter, and it looks good and it catches the light, but I don't want it to be so blingy that it looks ridiculous, and especially when I'm looking straight on, I don't want it to look like a light bulb and a light bulb. So I think this is kind of fitting the bill. I also just want to help out that Juvia's Place palette a little bit by popping this in the inner corner. It looks so much nicer than that side. Alright, overall, I really like this highlighter. I'm going to pop on eyeliner and then come back to do the final couple products. I set my face, I popped Get Paid cream gel liner from ColourPop in my waterline, and I curled my lashes. So I'm gonna go in with the e.l.f. Lash It Loud Volumizing Mascara. I should say I'm not that picky about mascaras because I feel like there's been very few mascaras in my life that have like knocked my socks off. There's been a couple, but they're like few and far between, and the ones that I like are ones that are like not even made anymore. My biggest thing with mascara is that I want it to be bold and I don't want it to smudge. I also am not a big fan of waterproof because I hate taking off waterproof. It's kind of like a plasticky brush with thin, short bristles. I'm not really sure how I feel about that. Okay, first impression is that I hate this. It's doing nothing. It's coating them black. There's no volume, there's no length, but I'm gonna keep building this up and see if anything happens. Also, sometimes mascaras like this can be good for the lower lash line because I don't necessarily want them to be as volumized on the lower lash line. Sometimes just definition is fine for that. Yeah, I'd say this is a very defining mascara, and that's it. I do like it on the lower lash line. We'll have to see if it smudges. Maybe I'll leave some text on the bottom about what I notice later in the day. But on the upper lashes, it's nothing. It's like I don't even have lashes. And then lastly, I'm going to pop on the Tower 28 gloss in Cashew. I think I had seen Kathleen Lights use this, and I love this color. I think it's so gorgeous in the tube. Kind of like a normal flat doe foot. It already feels kind of thick and like ultra glossy. It has like an interesting taste that I can't really put my finger on, but I don't mind it. Thoughts on the gloss? It's more sheer than I thought it would be, but it's a really nice tone to it, and I think it'll look really nice over a lip liner. I also like that it's super glossy, but there's no glitter particles in it at all. Yeah, so overall I'm pleased with the lips. So I thought I'd close this out by just ranking these based on my first impressions of them. It's definitely subject to change, but here's just how I feel right now. My number one product that I tried today is going to be the Milk Makeup Flex Highlighter in Iced. Here it is again. I think it just fits the bill of what I'm looking for right now. It's not too blingy, but it's also not too not blingy. Number two is going to be this Tower 28 Cashew Gloss. I really like the tone of it. I like that it's super glossy. I was even just looking at my lips, and I feel like it reminds me of the Dior lip glow. I had a sample of it years ago and I really liked it for this reason. It looked like a ultra shiny bomb, and I think I'm gonna get good use out of this in my collection. I think it's gonna look awesome over one of my nudie mauvey lip liners. I'm gonna put the Moon Prism at number 3. I went into this with the wrong brush. I went in not knowing it was gonna be super pigmented. I think we might have potential to have a nice life together. It just it wasn't the right application, but even now that I dulled it down, I do like how my cheeks look. I'm also super excited to get into these, and I also think that these are going to make really nice crease shades, because I do tend to do that often where I use a blush in my crease, and then it ties the look together more if I have the same tone in my cheeks as I do in my eyes. Number 4 is going to be the e.l.f. Mascara. It just wasn't enough for me, but I do like the look in the lower lash line. It looks very clean, and I definitely will use it for that purpose. And number 5, this Juvia's Place palette. I'm really disappointed compared to my other Juvia's Place palettes. I do like the look. Looking at it, it is like, it's kind of like a sexy look for like going out or something, but I think that I have single shadows in my collection that I can make this look with and better. And that's actually something I want to do moving forward. I want to take palettes that I'm on the fence about and recreate them with my single shadows and show myself how much better they are with my single shadows. So I think this might be upcoming in that way. Because for now, I just can't imagine myself grabbing for this over the other incredible eyeshadows I have in my collection. So that's going to be everything for today. Thank you for tuning in, and I'll see you next time.